Yo, 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 welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Blue Lounge. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a good evening. Listen, lads. Well, we got a show for you guys tonight. We got a show for you guys tonight. You know, this roller coaster of a transfer window is continually surprising us. It's continually surprising us. Let me just say some hellos. Hello to Zaid, to Angel, to Sadoraki, to I'm trying to scroll up here. To in English to games. Big up to Dhruv. Who else do we have? Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone in the chat. Daniel, big up. It's Mo Kasim, the Blue Lounge, aka Baggy. Yeah, he spots it right there. Baggy. Yeah, so big up to everyone. Big up to everyone. Listen, lads, today we got a big stream ahead of us. We've got a lot of people joining on in due course. I've got Eric Blue with us already. Eric, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit confused at the situation we're in. It seems to get worse every day. I was hoping that today would have some issues resolved, something a little bit more clearer in regards to where we are, but it seems like the waters have been muddied even more. Look who we have here. It's Jem with his camera on. How are you, my man?
Yeah, I'm alright. How you doing? You alright?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you. I'm actually gonna zoom in on you because I'm gonna use this for my my new intro video, man. So, how you doing, my man? You good?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. I'm alright. Obviously, I'm waking up to different news every day. My head's still positive. I'm still feeling the Haaland vibe, but this Lukaku thing's just not going away. Something that we need to talk about right now.
It's not, and we are gonna talk about that. We are gonna talk about the Lukaku situation. Listen, lads, I have picked out a selection of tweets. Most of them are from today. A couple are from a couple of days ago. But these tweets that I'm going to show you, and we're going to read through them, and then we're going to highlight the importance of each of these tweets. Then we're going to throw it open to you guys in the chat, and also the people who are going to be on the panel discussing it, because there are some things that are a little bit weird because they don't make sense. And all the tweets that I'm going to show you come from well-respected journalists in the world of football, and some have very close ties to Chelsea, especially the last couple that I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you through them one by one. Just bear with me. I'm going to share the screen now. The first one is this one. Okay, this tweet is from Fabrizio Romano, and it was tweeted on the 28th of July, 10 in the morning. And he said this: Borussia Dortmund, Sebastian Keller to build. Okay. I'm guessing the question was asked to him, will Haaland stay this summer? And the response was yes. In the discussion with Viola for Malen, I did not have the feeling we have to meet again about Haaland. We don't want to give him up. And this is the Borussia Dortmund chief. Where have I got my message up there? Yeah, so that is a tweet from Fabrizio Romano, and he thought that statement was worthy for him to disclose it to the fan base, to the general public, that Borussia Dortmund are not looking to sell. They are getting Malen in, a striker. However, they are content to discuss Oli Malen with Viola, who's also the agent of Malen and Haaland. So this was back in July. This was back in July. Now, let me see if I can share the other tweet with you lot. I'm still trying to get used to doing this. Okay, the second tweet I want to share with you lot is this. From Simon Phillips. Okay, this was tweeted on the 2nd of August. So this was tweeted today. Alright, now this is where it gets a little bit funny. Chelsea have been warned by Inter that it will take more than £100 million to sign Romelu Lukaku. And as of now, no Chelsea offer has reached the amount Inter are happy to accept. This was tweeted today at 7:41 p.m. Alright, so I'm just showing you these tweets, lads. Just keep them in mind. We'll come back and talk about them. The other tweet I want to show you is as follows. I know it's a bit long, but I want to get these tweets to you so you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I think I've got the order mixed up here, but I think this is the other one. Chelsea. Alright, this is the other one. It says, this was tweeted again today, literally 15 minutes ago. Chelsea hope to convince Inter to sell Romelu Lukaku by making a sizable bid this summer. They are willing to offer Marcos Alonso to the Serie A side in a part exchange for the striker. Again, Simon Phillips. Now if I click on this, are you seeing the Telegraph one? No, you're not. I'm not seeing the Telegraph one. Alright, hold on a second. So, now this is the final tweet that I want to share with you lot. And this is the one that really intrigued me the most in respect to where we are today. And this one is from the Telegraph, and it's from Matt Law. Law. Romelu Lukaku has jumped back to the top of the Chelsea wanted list of strikers, with Borussia Dortmund showing no signs of altering their stance on Erling Haaland. Matt Law. Alright, now lads, these are the tweets. I'm just going to take them off my screen. I don't want to be lagging. Now the context is as follows. The first tweet I read to you was from Fabrizio Romano. The last tweet I read to you was from Matt Law. Now for you in the chat who may not be aware of this, but Matt Law is controversial at times, but he is also very well connected to Chelsea Football Club. He is more connected to Chelsea Football Club than 10 Fabrizio Romanos. Okay, Fabrizio Romano knows his business, but when it comes to Chelsea Football Club, Matt Law has the connections and has the information that is spot on. So if Matt Law says something, 99.9% in regards to this kind of news, 99.9% he's accurate. When it comes to his opinion about certain things, it's debatable. But when it comes to reporting news, Matt Law knows his business. Fabrizio Romano said that the Haaland deal will not be happening. Matt Law is saying Chelsea are going in strong for Lukaku. The reports suggest that we have bid twice already and we're going to bid again for a third time. Reports are suggesting. Reports are also coming out. I didn't have one of those on there, but I've read elsewhere that we are looking to bid something in the region of 130 million euros for Lukaku. Now that says to me that we have bid north of that by a ton for Haaland and it has been rejected. But why hasn't it been made available to us as information? So lads, this is my introduction to the situation we're in. I'm going to start off by welcoming Bobby. Bobby, welcome to the stream. How are you?
Hey, hi Mo. Jem, Eric Blue.
Hey, bro.
Evening, guys.
Evening. Sorry lads, I had my chat frozen for a second there, so I missed a couple of your comments. I'll try to go back on there. I'm going to start with you, Jem. You've seen these tweets and you've seen the other tweets that are relevant for today. from what you've seen, are we actually doing this? Are we actually turning our backs on Haaland and going for Lukaku? Or is there something else to this whole dilemma? Your thoughts?
I feel confused about it all. I don't know about you guys, but I feel a little bit lost. I feel like we're being dragged one way and then we've been taken another, and then it's back that way and it's another. And it's a weird one, right? Because Fabrizio Romano made it clear that Lukaku was happy to stay at Inter Milan, and then all of a sudden you start seeing the Matt Laws and the Simon Phillips and Athletic saying that this is the opposite. Now you'd think that Fabrizio Romano would be a lot more connected, bearing in mind he's from Italy, with the likes of the Milans, the Juventuses. So if it comes from him in regards to anything Italian based, I would probably listen to him. Now this goes back to what I always say to people: you can't fully listen and read everything you read. You shouldn't just take it as gospel. What I think you need to do is take what you can out of it and paint your own picture. And in this situation, I think this is the case. I think we all have to make our own decisions on what we think's going on. Do I think that this is bullshit, the Lukaku news? Kind of not, because it's not blowing away. Do I think it could potentially be a smokescreen for the Haaland situation? Potentially, because I feel like a lot of the journalists that are involved with the Haaland situation don't actually know anything, and it's purely because Chelsea have just kept the doors closed and they're not really being given anything. So I think that it might be that element to it. It also might be a pressure element to it on Dortmund's side of things to say, look, Chelsea are looking at other alternatives. You better accept this bid or not. I feel a little bit lost really with it, to be honest, Mo. And from my perspective, with the Haaland thing, for me, it's either done, meaning that the terms are agreed, the bid's actually been given, and we're just waiting for the announcement, which might be delayed because of Dortmund. But in terms of the Lukaku news, if the Haaland news is true and we can't, for whatever reasons, we can't negotiate with Dortmund, might be the clause that's holding us back, or whatever it is that it might be that's holding us back. If the Lukaku news is true, would I be massively upset if we do bring him to Chelsea? Probably not, no, because it still answers the question that we need a goal scorer. Goal scorer is something that Chelsea need. For me, he would be the second target. Well, actually, Harry Kane would have been my second target, but we've got no chance in hell of getting a Harry Kane. So if we're being reasonable, Lukaku would be my second target. I see a lot of Chelsea fans.
Hold your thoughts on Harry Kane. Hold your thoughts on Harry Kane, because
I will do. I mean, I see a lot of Chelsea fans sort of annoyed with the whole Lukaku thing today. A lot of that's what's really built up today is how the fan base has reacted on social media, right, about Lukaku. And it's like, no Haaland, nothing. No Haaland, we don't want anything. We don't want Lukaku. And I partially get it. I really do, because if you bring him in, that means you ain't going to be competing for Haaland next year, right? When he drops down to 70 million. You're allowing the likes of Manchester United, Man City, if they don't get Harry Kane, Real Madrid, or Bayern Munich, if they're all ready, to go and just have a free run at this guy. So I get why the frustration comes from that aspect, but at the same time, I think we've just got to weigh up where we're at and what Chelsea want to do. If they wait for Haaland, I'm down for it. If it means we have to wait for another season and try and go again, but we're quite confident we can get it done, then cool. But we ain't winning the title this season. Do you know what I mean? So
two thoughts on what you just said there, Jim. Number one, Harry Kane. Harry Kane, the fact that he did what he did today, there's a rift between him and the club. Apparently the club is looking to fine him for him not turning up to training today. That is one aspect. If there's a problem between Harry Kane and the club, then it makes it easier for him to be sold to another club, i.e. Chelsea. I know Man City are on the case, but Chelsea could also have a crack at it, and you never know with the problems that they're having. This has added more fuel to the fire, and there may be a chance that Chelsea could sweep in, especially if Manchester City is looking to get Grealish for 100. Financially we might be in a better position to get Harry Kane. So that is one thing we can talk about in a minute. The other thing I want to talk about is just got a super sticker from Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Your support is well appreciated. You made me lose my train of thought there, Chelsea.
Was you talking about Haaland?
Haaland and
Yeah.
Lukaku. Now, if Chelsea were to get Lukaku this season,
Yeah.
for whatever price, whatever stupid price, 130 million, then we still can bid for Haaland next season because it's only 64 million pounds or 75 million euros. So in theory we can have Lukaku and Haaland at the end of next summer. In theory, not going to happen, but there's different avenues we can look at this. But my thoughts are as follows, and I want to put this to Bobby. Bobby, Matt Law is a journalist that we've talked a lot about on this channel for his antics with some of his reporting in respect to some of the Chelsea players in the past. But no one can doubt the fact that Matt Law has a lot of connections within the club. And Matt Law does do things predominantly that the club is suggesting or asking. So, the fan base has been talking about a smokescreen. The fan base is talking about fake news, etc., etc. Could Matt Law knowingly be misleading the fan base in order to allow us to put pressure on Dortmund in securing Erling Haaland, that Chelsea are looking at a different target and they're offering X amount of money? They're serious. If you want to get rid of Haaland for a good deal, this is your chance. Accept Chelsea's offer. Could Matt Law be playing his part in this deal as Jan Arg-Voitov is playing his part for the other side? What would you think about that? I mean, is that a scenario that could be realistic?
I'm very much with Jem on this. It's a very confusing situation, and added to that, there's a little bit of a bad taste being left in my mouth with all of this, especially when I see Lukaku coming up. I don't do second best, settling and all that. I really don't. As a person and as a fan, I've never liked it. And I think Lukaku is settling, and it will never be the same. You go for the best if you want to be the best. And my instinct would be, if Haaland can't be obtained this season, and that's a big if, to find some sort of stopgap, maybe a sort of mature player at the end of his career vis-a-vis the likes of Cavani, and fit him in and go for Haaland next season, because we can compete if we have the money, and which we will do because we wouldn't have spent it on him. Now, is Matt Law playing games with this? Yeah, possibly. I'm a little bit tired of all the sort of cloak and dagger aspect of all this. I really don't see too much of the need. If you are in a public arena, trying to be private after a while starts to look a bit childish. You have to let people know to a certain extent what's going on. If we have bid for Haaland, this is the point where it has to be made public. You don't have to give all the ins and outs, but the club needs to say something. Staying quiet and all this hiding in shadows and that sort of thing, is it actually moving the deal forward? Is it? Well, in all evidence, it's doing nothing but just making us look unnecessarily. I wouldn't even say we're looking mysterious right now. Right now, we're moving towards looking a bit silly. It is what it is. Do your deal and get out of there. Games, after a while, it becomes for children, in my opinion. I don't understand what's going on.
Is it having the opposite effect? Is this all this what's the word here? Being tight-lipped, being secretive about this deal to save face, to keep the reputation intact. Is it actually doing the opposite? Is it really making us look bad and making us look needy and wanting? Because I could not have imagined Chelsea being in the in the area of 130 million pounds bid for Lukaku. I mean, we were talking a month or 6 weeks ago about him, 80 million max. Now we're talking 130 million, and it's been rejected.
I somehow don't believe this, Mo.
Nah,
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's too. Why are we leaking stuff now when all along we've been
It's not leaking.
tight-lipped?
It's not leaking. It's not leaking. This is reporting. This is reporting that you can't really deny or confirm because there is nothing to go on.
No.
If I was to say I have a source, and he said X, Y, and Z, and then somebody here who has 1,000 or 2,000 followers on Twitter takes what I said. And by the way, it has happened in the past. I have actually made a statement on the on Baggy TV, and a couple of days later, I saw it reported. Source Baggy TV, and I'm like, am I a source now? And it's like, no, I'm saying it's a weird one. I mean, I was just searching Google and I saw it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this: I could say something, and one of these guys in the chat hearing me could go and so Baggy TV said this, Blue Lounge said this. And then all of a sudden, it picks up weight, and there's nothing to say. No, this information is false, because we don't have nothing to reflect it upon, to have a benchmark, a standard where Chelsea, we are going to get a striker, but we're not prepared to pay more than X amount of money. So we have to hear something more than that. It's going to be contradictory. Go on, Bobby.
No, all I'll just say about this, I know others need to talk, and I need to shut up a bit, but all I'll just say about this at this point is, one thing about Chelsea that we know for a fact for decades now, not even before Roman came in, you don't believe anything about transfers until the club announces it. So all this is irrelevant right now. Matlaw, this and that. Yeah, they could be pointers, but they could also be very wrong. I find this hard to believe. Maybe I'm too much of a Chelsea fan at heart, and we hold on to hope to the bitter end, really, as fans, as real Blues. But something about this just doesn't feel right. Sorry, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I want to bring in Eric Blue, but before I do, I want to bring in Eric Blue. But before I do that sounds good. That rhymes. I want to ask you lads to hit the like button. We're on 44 likes, and we've got 100 people in the stream. So let's push those likes to 100. And if you're new, subscribe. Consider subscribing. We had some big numbers yesterday in the subscription on the stream. So big up to everyone. Tommy, big up. Just seen you in the chat. Big up to you, Tommy. Listen, Eric Blue.
Yo.
Matt Law is being on vacation. He has been. He said, "I was on vacation. I'm back now, and I'm giving you all of the latest news." And by the way, he also talked about Koundé, which we'll cover in a little bit. Now that Matt Law is back, are we going to get more information? Are we going to get more news coming out of Chelsea because we have someone who is connected within the club? What do you think?
I'm not surprised that as he came back, he just brought out this interesting news. But there are other, Matt Law isn't the only Chelsea journalist. So there are other guys who Chelsea can decide to use. Simon Johnson is still there. A few others are still there. So I'm just assuming that more news will come out anyway, because as things go along, more there'll be more development. So that's just normal. But this whole thing with Matt Law's, what he's just brought out recently, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. For me, there's wishful thinking to suggest that the Lukaku thing is a smoke screen, but at the same time, there's a little bit of evidence to suggest that it's real, tiny bits. But if it is real, then obviously Chelsea's attempts to maybe save face, it goes out the window, because without spelling it out, they're saying that Chelsea's pursuit of Holland has been unsuccessful. Without saying it, without saying that Chelsea got rejected, Matt Law has essentially said Chelsea got rejected by Dortmund. So, that's not good news. That's bad.
But he hasn't though. He hasn't mentioned Dortmund. He's mentioned the Lukaku deal. Or did he mention?
He did. He did.
He
He
did?
mentioned that Chelsea's Chelsea.
He said
What did he say? Dortmund.
our interest. He said that it looks like our interest in Haaland has subsided because we are pursuing Lukaku as our main striker. But he didn't say we made a bid. He didn't say we.
No. Obviously,
Yeah.
he didn't. But I think he said that Dortmund have made it clear that they won't budge on the Chelsea. Whatever they have said. He didn't obviously spell anything else, but he said basically that Dortmund won't budge. Therefore, Chelsea have focused on have decided to focus on Lukaku, which without spelling it out, that's basically saying that Dortmund have rejected whatever Chelsea have offered them, and they won't budge on whatever they.
Implying.
Yeah, it's
implying
basically
yeah,
implying
yeah,
it, without
yeah.
spelling it out. So more or less, whatever Chelsea have done so far has not been successful, which it is what it is. But either way, obviously one of those two signings will be fine. My first choice was Lukaku from the beginning. That's who I wanted. But
Over Haaland.
exactly, yes, because I just thought the Holland thing is a bit too far fetched. That was my feeling from the beginning. But it's not over yet. It also doesn't, something doesn't add up somewhere, because why does our first choice target, we haven't had an official bid for him, or it hasn't even been said that we had an unofficial bid, really. Maybe one unofficial inquiry, but then somehow there's been 3 sort of bids for Lukaku, who is not the first choice. So something doesn't add up somewhere. Obviously,
Yeah.
something's wrong.
I want to twist this. I want to twist this to Jem. I want to twist this to Jem. Jem, listen, mate. We heard a couple of days ago, before Matt Law got on to this and started talking about this. We heard a couple of days ago that Chelsea have been talking to Lukaku. Apparently, his Abramovic's son spoke to Lukaku, and X, Y, and Z happened, and Lukaku turned around and said, "Look, I'm not interested." Before we're starting to hear in 2 bids were tabled, etc., etc. But we heard that there's movement in the Lukaku situation, but also it became apparent as follows: that Lukaku needs or wants to feel needed by Chelsea.
Yeah.
Wanted by Chelsea before he considers a return to Chelsea, because he doesn't want to come back to Chelsea unless the fan base, the club, actually do want him and they fight for him. So when he comes in as someone who is needed by the club, rather than somebody who is just coming in to fill in for a couple of years, a stopgap, etc., etc. He doesn't want to be a second choice striker. He doesn't want to be a stopgap.
Yeah.
He wants to be the man. Do you think this whole scenario is done in a way to show him that, look, we bid it twice, your club refused, and now this is the 3rd bid, and we're bidding big money for you? Is this something to try to entice Lukaku to actually come to Chelsea? Do you? I mean, by me posing this question, I'm going down the path that Lukaku might actually be our priority target, as Matt Law says.
I think we've got to do something to show him that we want him. This whole transfer window's been designed around Haaland, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, we've not really shown him that interest. And I always use the example of the pretty lady in the club. So you go into a club and you see a group of girls and you see that really pretty lady, and you go and talk to her because you think she's gorgeous, and she entertains you for most of the night. Like, you get along with her, you're talking to her, but she keeps you on edge. She doesn't really give you much. So at the end of the night, you end up going to her best mate. You keep trying to go over to her best mate, you try and chat her up, and you're like,
I love these analogies, man. I love these analogies. Keep going.
It's true, isn't it? You go over to her and you're like, how you doing, darling? You're right, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, why are you coming over to me? You've been talking to my mate the whole night. Why have you come for me? And it's the exactly same thing as Lukaku. And if Chelsea's priority now is Lukaku in the short space of time that we have from now to the start of the season, then we seriously have to show him, bend over backwards to show him that we've forgot about Haaland and we want him now. And that, if that means we have to continuously keep bidding to show the interest, to show that he was our major second choice next to Haaland, then we should do that. At the end of the day, I said it earlier before, Chelsea need to make a real big decision about how they approach this season with Tuchel. Because if they've given him targets and said to him, you've got to win this Premier League and you've got to do this, Tuchel at this moment in time has got the right to go back to him and say, okay, cool, you want me to win this, this and this, but I've asked you since we've won the Champions League to give me Haaland, Lukaku. Where are these individuals? Now, if we can't give him that individual because, let's say that the Chelsea board decide that they're not going to buy Lukaku, they're just going to sit back for a season, allow us to have Havertz and Werner, but for the rest of the season, and potentially work on Haaland next year, because there's a good chance that Chelsea might try that. We got to bear that in mind. If we don't get him this year, it might be that we don't bother with anyone because we're that confident going into next season that we can still entice him at a lower bid. But then it won't be the bid that we'll be having wars about. It will be the wage. It will be a transfer wage saga. You'll have people coming in at him, giving him this amount, that amount, and it can get a bit messy, So Chelsea need to make a decision. They either do that, or they go, do you know what? Scrap the Haaland thing. We're going to miss out on him next year. There's no point of us even trying because there's going to be too many clubs in. And we just go hammer and tong for a Lukaku. But we have to get him now. He has to come now. We can't leave it till next year. He needs to come now. So they have to do everything in their power to try and get him in, mate.
Following up on that, did you... I mean, I saw this today, but maybe it was just me looking at it from one point of view. I want to know if you thought about if you saw this, if Bobby and Eric also saw this. But today, when Matt Law started the talk about Chelsea bidding twice for him, Chelsea's priority target is Lukaku, I sensed there was a quick change in the fan base and the way they were approaching the Lukaku story. Lukaku as a story was never ever believed. It was always fake news, smokescreen. He's not good enough. But I started seeing people tweeting old clips of Lukaku. People sticking pictures of Lukaku, his interviews. Unfinished business. The fan base slowly started to change more favorably towards Lukaku. Did you guys also see that, or was it just me? I mean, what did you guys feel regarding the attitude of the fan base as soon as Matt Law started speaking about Lukaku? I'm going to put this to Bobby, and then we'll go to you, Jim, and then to Eric.
Yeah, I mean, I've been unhappy about Lukaku because I'm yet to be convinced. I don't think he's good enough. And I don't care whether, Jem, that bird that you approach in the club after the other one knocks you back is going to ditch you anyway because she knows you've been dumped by the other one. Nobody, what I'm saying? So...
Hold on. Hey, listen. There was a tweet from Fabrizio Romano. I'm going to share it with you guys now. Literally a few minutes ago.
Oh, really? Big news, yeah? Breaking news.
I haven't read it yet. I want to get a live reaction from you guys.
Well, it's time at night. Come on. You won't be doing the same now.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not a fan. I've never said I'm not convinced. Oh, I can't see it.
What's this saying? I can't see it, man. Read it out.
This is from Fabrizio Romano. Inter have received an approach from Chelsea for Romelu Lukaku. Bid around 100 million euros, including Marcos Alonso as part of the negotiation. Inter board turned down the proposal as they want to keep Lukaku. They've always considered Romelu Lukaku as untouchable. Okay, so Fabrizio Romano just confirmed that a bid has gone in for Lukaku for 100 million euros and included a player with that, Marcos Alonso, as part of the negotiation. So 100 million euros plus Marcos Alonso, and Inter Milan rejected that. So that is a fact.
I just wanted to add as well. Yeah, go on, Jim.
No, I was just going to say, is that the third bid that they were talking about Chelsea were going to do, or was that the second bid? Do we know what bid this was?
He hasn't said. He hasn't
said a bid.
Yeah. A bid, yeah.
So
I wanted to just add.
It is what it is.
I'm going to keep on the screen for a little bit in case people want to read it. Yeah, go on.
I wanted to mention. I just remember the whole thing with Martinez. So if Inter sell Martinez, I think obviously that it reduces the chances of Chelsea getting Lukaku. So it's an interesting one. So if Martinez doesn't get sold, then maybe there's more to it. Maybe we can have more belief that Lukaku will sign. But like I said before, I expect Chelsea to sign a striker, and I don't mean like I can't even remember his name. The person who was the alternative that Chelsea fans have been talking about, Dusan Vlahovic or something.
Vlahovic,
Yeah.
from Fiorentina.
I'm not thinking about him. Like I think Chelsea will sign a big name kind of player, a big name striker. Lukaku, Holland. Those are the only two really left. I don't think there's anybody else who is even remotely possible. So I think one of these two will happen.
Well,
Yeah, but I'll be honest. Sorry, Bobby. I'll be honest with you lot. Impressed. I am impressed that we got these two bits of news today, because Matt Law started it in the morning. Fabrizio Romano confirmed it in the evening. So Chelsea have made that bid. Let's dissect it a little bit. 100 million euros is about 80 million pounds, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Marcus Alonso, 20 million. About. Yeah. So
If we're
Chelsea
lucky.
have bid.
Jeez.
Well, if we're lucky. Yeah.
Fucking snail, isn't he? Who wants that?
Yeah.
Let me know.
They're chucking him everywhere. Sevilla,
Literally.
Inter Milan, whoever, anybody wants him.
Anyone want Alonso?
No,
Just
take
give
it.
us to the point where
Give
it's
us
just like, give us
me a
your
bell.
value. You can have him. Like, do you know what I
Take
mean?
him.
We don't want him anymore.
Yeah, so 100 million. So Chelsea have given a 100 million pound worth of a bid for Lukaku. Now, that says to me that the Haaland situation is quite, what's the word here?
Fragile.
No, it's a brick wall, mate. The opposite of fragile. It's a brick wall. Literally, there is no way that Dortmund are going to be selling. And I go back to what I said yesterday about Chelsea having to make that bid public, because I'm sure Chelsea have made an informal bid for Erling Haaland. Okay, now we know that Inter Milan have rejected this bid, which, by the way, is quite interesting, because Inter Milan have still got to sort out their financial situation when it comes to player wages, and Lukaku is one of the highest paid players at their club. So getting him sold is something that would make sense, especially when Chelsea are offering big bucks. They also need a wing back, because they sold Ashraf Hakimi. So I reckon that's the thinking behind Marcus Alonso being included in the deal.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Boogeyman, welcome to the stream.
Yo, thanks for having me. Hello, Bobby, Jim,
Boogeyman.
Blue.
The
How are you
boogeyman
guys
is here.
Boogeyman is here.
What's happening, boogeyman?
Hello.
Boogeyman, breaking news.
Yo, man, what
We've
is it?
just had it confirmed literally 5 minutes ago by Fabrizio Romano that Chelsea bidded 100 million euros plus Marcus Alonso for Lukaku, and it was turned down by Inter Milan. That's breaking news. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
Another nonsense by Chelsea board again. For me, it's just clear that Lukaku is not a solution. For me, it's just clear. For me, I will never, unless they sell Lukaku for 60 million, I don't think we should even buy it because of his age. And I don't think 100 million plus Alonso will change much to our goal scoring problem. We're still creating. Lukaku will miss big chances, and we'll still be in the same situation.
Yeah.
The answer is Haaland. So we're telling me 100 million plus Alonso. Alonso is what, 25, 30 million? Then we're bidding what, 130 million for Lukaku. How much Haaland cost? 150? And why don't you just put another 30 million on top of it and just
Give
buy?
Haaland. That's not. Boogeyman, you are talking so much facts right now, man. I swear.
Yeah.
Right. If
He
this,
is.
it is. No, I'm not joking. He is. When you think about the fact that if we do go through Lukaku and it is proposed that Inter Milan want anything between 100 to 130 million, why the hell are we wasting time on that? Why don't we just give Dortmund what the hell they want? If it's the 150, give them the 150, man. Or if it's even 170, 160, just do it.
like you said before, you would even get up to 200 for Holland.
Yeah.
But obviously
I
Chelsea
wouldn't mind.
Chelsea wouldn't do that, would they? But if
Yeah.
Chelsea's limit was like, say 160, and they already offered 160, and then Dortmund said no because probably Minarella would take like 40 million pounds out of it, and they wouldn't make so much of a loss next summer. Then Chelsea wouldn't keep going with the money. They wouldn't keep increasing it until they got the player they want. That's
But
not
Eric,
how
they should. They should. That's my
Of course
thing.
they should. Of
They
course
should
they
go.
should.
This boy is once in a lifetime opportunity of signing. I keep trying to. I stress this so much. Yeah. If we don't get him this year, I would be surprised if we go in next year without a striker and try and get him. But if we don't go for him this year, I really do think we're shooting ourselves in the foot. And if it's Dortmund saying we want 175 million euros for him, and we're not offering that, and we're offering 150 million euros, then pay the extra 25. If you're going to go and buy a Lukaku for 130 million, let's just say euros, it makes more sense to just go and put that little bit more on top and go grab a player that's still very young, still very raw, breaking records left, right, and centre, and for me, it's the second best player, young player in the world. Like there's no like Lukaku's a limited individual. He can't get any better than what you see of him right now. He'll give us some service for the next 2 to 3 years. And granted, he will score goals. I do think if he comes to Chelsea in the way that we play, he will score goals. But in the long run, Haaland is the better option for us. And this is why I would be a bit pissed off with my board if that was the reason.
Jem,
So we
what
just have to
about
say it like that.
what about the suggestion that I've heard this said that if Lukaku comes, he would be more of a long-term signing because he would be like because he has a Chelsea affiliation. Maybe he would be here for 5 years, and then Holland would probably be here for like 4 years, maybe.
Are you
What do you
kidding
think
me?
about that?
Long term till what? He goes till he goes and gets some Zimmer frame.
So
I think no.
So
If
he's
we
I
have
think
anything good out of
listen.
Lukaku, it's going to be 2 years max.
No,
Max.
Bobby. I think Lukaku will give us 2 years of prime Lukaku, peak Lukaku, 2 years of regular Lukaku, and then a couple of years of picking up a paycheck. Lukaku will continue to be a decent, and I'm going to say decent, not great. He's going to be a decent striker this next couple of seasons. But he will also enable us to have that flexibility when it comes to providing or getting a replacement. You see, Lukaku is a good finisher. Lukaku is, he has strength, he has pace, he can hold the ball, and he can, he can header it. He can do a lot. Lukaku can do a lot. Lukaku is not Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is that next level, that next tier of striker. But Lukaku is a good alternative to Erling Haaland. For me, second, maybe third best alternative to Haaland. The issue is here. What can Chelsea get out of him, and how can Chelsea get him for the least amount of risk, the least amount of cost? Because right now, these prices that we're looking at, I don't think he's worth that much, to be honest. Is he? Is it because we are unable to get another striker that we're prepared to pay that much money? But I think we're overpaying for Lukaku. For me, 100 million euros is enough. To go and add Alonso is telling Inter Milan, okay, if you reject Alonso, we're going to up it by 20 million, 15 million. And that's what they're waiting for. Before we continue, for all the people joining the stream now, the breaking news is as follows, because we have had some breaking news. Before I tell you the breaking news, let me see how many likes we got. We got 77 likes, man. Come on, what's this? Let's make it 100
How many
likes,
people?
lads.
How many people was there?
300, just under 300 people in the chat.
So there's 300 people here. We've got 77 likes. If you
77
don't
likes.
smash the like button, Chelsea will not sign a striker. So get smashing that like
Get
button,
smashing
guys.
that like button, lads. Get smashing that like button. Listen, we got breaking news. We got breaking news from Fabrizio Romano. Literally came out 10 minutes ago. So let's get to 100 likes and I'll tell it to you. We need another. Oh, we got it. We got 100 likes. All right. That convinced you a lot. Nice one, mate. Listen, all right, hang on a second. Let me get to 10,000 subscribers as well while we're at it.
Yeah.
No, I'm pushing my luck here. No. Listen,
Okay.
lads. Fabrizio Romano literally tweeted the following: Chelsea have put in a bid for Romelu Lukaku for 100 million euros, with a player exchange added to that, and that was Marcus Alonso. So 100 million euros plus Marcus Alonso was a bid placed to Inter Milan, and Inter Milan refused the bid. So just to confirm, 100 million euros plus Marcus Alonso was offered to Inter Milan for Romelu Lukaku, and Inter Milan rejected that bid, as per Fabrizio Romano just over 10 minutes ago. So for you guys, Chelsea did make that bid. So the question is, how much do you think we bidded for Erling Haaland and got rejected unofficially? Because if we're going to be bidding 100 million euros for Lukaku plus Marcus Alonso, I think that stupid bid, that crazy bid, that magical bid, that fantasy bid that Jan Arg Foytov was talking about has already been made by Chelsea, and it's been rejected.
I've got another take to this, Mo.
Go on, Bobby. Go on.
I've got another take to this. First of all, at the moment, we're looking really stupid. So I'll just get that out of the way. But however, could it be that because a lot of the unofficial bids, as it were, are made through a third party, so they're sort of indirect little probes. If we offer this, will you accept it, sort of thing. So I've been hearing from some major platforms. Now, could it be possible that Chelsea have made a probe into Dortmund and said, look, if we offer 130, will you accept it through a third party? And the answer came back, no, unofficially, all behind closed doors. And Chelsea have thought, okay, let's see if we can get this other guy cheaper. He hasn't seen that we've made any bid for Haaland, but he can see that we're making a bid for him. And then we make a bid at where we value him maximum and see if it's going to be accepted. Now they've made this so-called bid and it's been declined. They might think, okay, we can't get a cheaper player out there of any kind of resemblance of Haaland. Let's go all out for Haaland. It sounds hopeful.
Lukaku.
But, no, Haaland now. Because he's still in. I still think he's in the picture. I still think they are looking to see if they can spend less by going to Lukaku. And if they find that Inter is saying no, then rather than spend over 100 million on Lukaku, they will put in that big time bid for Haaland. That's a possibility. Unlikely, but it's possible.
I want to address this comment by DJN1. It's a good point. He's making a good point because apparently there is still a 50 million euro payment that is due to be made to Manchester United for Lukaku. Apparently, I read it somewhere. There's a big chunk of money. Yeah, it's a big chunk of money. So maybe the way they're seeing it is, we got to pay that money, most of it away. So we need something else. We need something more. But that being said, it's still a debt. It's still a debt that Inter Milan have to clear. So whether they clear it with Lukaku, whether they clear it, with this sale, or they clear it in a sale in the future, they still have to clear this debt. And I think this is a good opportunity, a very good opportunity for them to clear it with Chelsea. But yeah, it's a good point that you've made. Yeah. Sorry, Bobby, I cut you off there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it even worse, doesn't it? How stupid are we to give them money for Man United? Really?
Go, guys.
Really?
Yeah. All right, Jim. Thank you very much for taking part on the stream, mate. Cheers, mate.
No,
always good to see you, Jim.
And you guys, come on, bring Haaland home, man. That's the signal. Show positivity. Haaland. Come on. See you later.
All right, mate. Appreciate it. Cheers. Thank you. See you later, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Mo, there's nothing about this deal that gives me any sort of pleasure, not to mention excitement. I just think it's a bad move, very bad move, especially now with what you've said. Oh dear.
Yeah, no, it's a weird one. It's a weird one.
I'm happy.
Boogeyman,
I'm
Boogeyman,
happy.
go on.
Wait. I'm
Go on,
happy
Boogeyman.
that Inter Milan is rejecting our bid, anyways. If they can keep rejecting it until one point, I'm just happy. The thing
Why are
is,
you? Wait, hang on. Why are you happy, man? We need a striker.
because I don't want Lukaku. That's me. I just
Okay, so-
don't want him.
So you
Boogeyman,
would
no
prefer
striker, no
nobody.
striker better than Lukaku.
Let me just put it this way: I will
Yes.
go with a really, really, really cheap options. Like I will even go with Daniel Ings at this point. I just someone that we can
Is a cheap
use
option.
till next season and go all in for Haaland. Me
Wait,
at
hang
this
on.
point, if I was sitting
Wow.
in that board, I would be like, okay, let's just give Dortmund £130 million and tell them keep Haaland for this season. We get him next season. I don't care anymore. I just
You
want him
can't.
to
You
be
can't
part
do
of
that
our
because
team.
the release clause is next season. You can't
Yeah, but
just.
I don't even care. I just want, because we all agree that Haaland is the next big thing. People even think Haaland is to the level of Ronaldo, Mbappe, and even Messi. So let's just give him the £130 million a year this season and tell Dortmund keep him. We bring Danny Ings for another
No.
£30 million, and we just use him till next season. And then we set Tammy, and we have now Haaland as our main striker and Danny Ings as the
No,
the
but
second
if you're
option.
spending that kind of money, you wouldn't
Yeah, but
loan
at
him
this
back to
point,
Dortmund.
I don't think. What if we spend £130 million on Lukaku? It's just that I don't even want to hear that. It's just crazy for me. My background is different from your background, is different from
No.
my
I'm not.
background. But for some reason, we all agree that paying £130 million for Lukaku is crazy.
I know. I agree. It's too much, and I don't believe it will
Then
happen. I
why are
don't
we
think.
doing it?
No, it's not. It's not 130. It's 100. It's not. It's not 130.
Yeah,
It's
but what
100.
Alonso is pretty much like 10 goals. If Alonso play a full season, he's scoring 10 goals for
So
us.
you prefer Alonso to stay? You want Alonso
For
to
me,
stay?
at this point, I keep Alonso. I don't want Lukaku.
Look, from what you said, you
Yeah.
know, buying somebody who is very cheap is as good as buying nobody. So what you're saying is you prefer us to buy nobody than to overspend on Lukaku.
Listen, I'll bring
basically what you're saying.
Borjan in and let Havertz and Borjan lead the league, and I will just be quiet. I'll just
Yeah.
go for top 4 for this
I'd
season.
even keep Tammy.
Yeah,
But you know that the chances of us getting Holland next season are less than this season.
maybe not. I don't. At this point, I just don't think Lukaku is the option. Is the solution? I just don't think it's too much. It's too much money for nothing. And on top of it, I just learned we're paying 15 million to Manchester United. Do you want it? No. No Chelsea fan want to do that. It just does not fit anything. It's becoming frustrated, stupid, and I will use all the word and ban me. But it's just
You see what Chelsea has done to us. But you see what Chelsea has done to us, man.
I know.
Look,
No,
that's why I said. That's why I said Holland or bust. It's a very. It just doesn't work without the signing. We just need to make it happen.
I have to say, I disagree. You know, I think what Chelsea has done in trying to get Lukaku in making this bid, I think it's the right thing to do. It's the right step to take. Whether or not Lukaku was going to come, whether or not Inter Milan were going to accept this deal, whether or not the third potential offer going in is going to be accepted, I think Chelsea do need to get the signing. I would love to see Haaland. I want to see Haaland. My preferred option is Haaland. But if I can't get Haaland to come and join Chelsea this season, I don't want to be putting ourselves in a situation where we play a whole season without having a striker. On the back of us winning the Champions League, the potential outcomes to this season without us having a striker are very scary. Especially when you consider that Man City might be getting Harry Kane, Grealish, Manchester United have got Sancho. The teams around us are building. Even Arsenal are building. And Chelsea haven't done nothing. Chelsea are currently struggling to sign apparently anyone. Because from what I read, we also made a bid for Chiesa, which got rejected. Again, not confirmed. It's a report that I read.
But Chiesa was never
Koundé-
going to happen, though. That was never
well,
going to.
It was rejected. It was a bid that was rejected, and it was 100 million. Also, Koundé right now is looking very, very fragile. That deal is looking fragile because we wanted to give him Zuma. They don't want to Zuma doesn't want to go to Sevilla. They don't want to give us a good value for Zuma because it was 30 plus Zuma. They want 45 or 40 plus Zuma. So they're reducing the value of Zuma. Zuma might be going to a different club, maybe to West Ham. Chelsea are now looking to sell Kurt Zuma before they go ahead and buy Koundé because player in, player out, player in. So we don't want to get another defender on our books without us selling Zuma first. So there is a lot that needs to be done in regards to the transfer window, and we are still lacking when it comes to signing a striker. I am worried, and I am happy that we made this bid, and I'll be happier if we are going to sign him even for a little bit more than the bid that we've made, even if we have to increase it by another 20 to get Lukaku. I would rather see us get Lukaku than to play the season without a striker, because that would be a scary scenario for me.
I completely agree.
Can you imagine us finishing out of the top 6? Because it's a possibility without a striker. It's a possibility.
It's possible. If you look at the goals we scored last season, people are ignoring this stuff. Chelsea didn't score enough goals, man. Chelsea played 20 games. We scored like 25 goals in 20 games or was it 19 games? It was bad. We didn't score anywhere near enough. Goals scored. Chelsea were, I think, 8. We're 8 ahead of Arsenal in 9th in terms of goals scored.
Eric, my friend, listen. We got to play Champions League, Premier League. Champions League, Premier League. We don't have Giroud. We don't have Tammy. Club World Cup, Super Cup, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We got a lot of tournaments that we have to play. We can't rely on Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. We can't. Both of these dudes are injury prone as well. You're going to miss Timo Werner for a couple of weeks in the season. Kai Havertz also. What are you going to do then?
And we're getting rid of goal contributors like Giroud, Zuma, Alonso. All for who? Lukaku? It's a joke.
Not for Lukaku, but we need to bring in Lukaku. Because if these players are leaving, I personally would have liked to have seen Giroud stay. I'm not happy that Zuma is leaving. Okay, Koundé is a good defender. He's probably better suited to the Tuchel system. But Zuma is a threat in the air. And this is the Premier League. The Premier League is all about set pieces, it's all about corners, it's all about crosses. And Zuma, he can defend them and he can score them. Getting rid of him, for me, it's problematic. But Tuchel knows best. I mean, he's the manager, he's the coach.
Mo,
but
can I
go on, Eric?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly address the comments I've just seen. Lukaku can't dribble, no first touch, already failed. That's just you're not being. I know people don't like Lukaku. I know he's not. He might not be good enough for some people, but you have to be. You don't have to be, but I think you should try to be objective, even a little bit. That's a bit. That's not right, man. That isn't right.
Eric, we're not coming from a place of no knowledge.
I'm just addressing the comment.
Sorry, Bobby. Just 1 second. If he can't dribble, if he has no pace, if all of these factors are still accurate, can he score a goal? Can he finish? Because if you're telling me no, then obviously
I can answer that question really easily. He can score goal in Serie A. In EPL, he's not given all those time. Exactly, the comments say Lukaku cannot control a ball. We all know that. Even actually Cole says it. When Lukaku was at Chelsea, he can't even control a ball. When the last season of Lukaku in the EPL, What is the biggest issue? He cannot control the ball. All his control,
Boogeyman,
the
you're
ball is
saying
pretty much
past
at 2
tense.
feet
It's
away
past
from.
tense, Boogeyman. It's past.
What?
It's not now. You're not saying what you're saying based on recent history. He's better than what people
I
are
don't
saying.
mind. I'm just basing my analysis on Lukaku experience. What Lukaku have shown me in
His only postseason in England was with United,
What?
and he still scored goals.
No, at Everton, he played pretty much the entire season. He scored 15 goals with Everton. He in West Ham, no West Ham, but West
lads, more breaking news. More breaking news. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'll share this with you lot. Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted the following. I'm trying to get it up on here. 1 second. It's regarding Armando Broja. Fabrizio Romano. Udinese have asked Chelsea for Armando Broja on a loan until June 2022. Talks ongoing after his contract extension with Chelsea a few days ago.
Another goal threat going.
Another striker. Udinese have asked Chelsea for Armando Broja on loan until June 2022. Talks ongoing after his contract extension with Chelsea a few days ago. That is the this tweet. There was this tweet earlier today. So for those of you who didn't see it, Inter Milan have received an approach from Chelsea for Romelu Lukaku, bid around 100 million, including Marcos Alonso, as part of the negotiations. Inter board turned down the proposal as they want to keep Lukaku. They've always considered Romelu Lukaku as untouchable.
Good,
So
they can have him.
That's where we are.
Like I was saying, sorry.
Go on, Boogeyman. Go on. Carry on.
Like I was saying, why can't Chelsea just give a chance to a young, talented Broja? Maybe he might just be that piece we're missing. Someone from our academy that will score 15 goals, 20 goals this season. Because we're creating the chances. We just want someone to put them in. So maybe Broja will do that. And we don't have to spend down 100 million pounds on Lukaku. Why don't we just give him the chance? Why are we sending him to Udinese? We know we need someone to score. We're willing to pay 150 million for Haaland, and for some reason that deal is not getting in. So we don't know what's going on there. Dortmund refused. I don't know. The agent is playing game. We don't know. So why do we even thinking about letting Borjan? I don't even know why he played with the youth team when we had Arsenal coming. We should just keep giving the kid a chance. He can play with Arsenal, play with Tottenham, and we see if maybe he's the answer. Because Tammy seems not to be the answer to our problem. So I just don't understand. There's something going on that we don't know. But I'm still convinced Lukaku will never be the answer of Chelsea way of playing. Lukaku, I've seen him enough in EPL, and I have no reason to believe Lukaku is good. I even see Lukaku at the Euro. At the Euro, Lukaku did bully the few defender, but Lukaku first touch it at the Euro were not good either.
Boogeyman, what if Tuchel is happy with Lukaku? Would you trust?
Listen,
Tuchel?
I'm behind. Look at. You cannot compare my expertise with Tuchel. Tuchel is way better than me. Look, Tuchel say we want Lukaku. Then I'm behind Tuchel. What can I say? But if you ask me today, listen, man, Lukaku or nothing. Listen, nothing for me.
Listen. The question isn't this. You guys are missing the point. You guys are all missing the point. The point is as follows. It isn't whether Lukaku is good or bad in your opinion or in my opinion. That doesn't matter. What you're saying, Boogeyman, doesn't matter. What I'm saying doesn't matter. What matters is what Thomas Tuchel thinks of the Lukaku ability. What Chelsea Football Club thinks of Lukaku's ability. What I think, what you think, is irrelevant. I like to hear your opinion. I'd like to hear everyone's opinion in respect to this. But right now, what is important is this. Chelsea have made a bid. Apparently 2 bids for Romelu Lukaku. And they have made massive bids. Because these bids that we're talking about, These are record-breaking bids for Chelsea. They've made them for Lukaku. Therefore, our club thinks highly of Lukaku. And with all due respect, our club knows better than both me, you, and everybody else in this in the stream right now. So the fact that they've made this bid for Romelu Lukaku, we need to figure out one thing. Does that mean the Erling Haaland deal is dead? Do you guys think the Erling Haaland deal is dead? The fact that Chelsea are so serious about signing Lukaku. People in the chat, let me know. Do you think the Erling Haaland deal is dead? Yes or no? Erling Haaland deal dead? Yes or no? So if you type in yes, that means the deal is dead. If you type in no, that means the deal still is alive. So in the chat, Erling Haaland deal, in your opinion, is it dead or alive? Bobby, Erling Haaland, dead or alive, the deal?
Well, it would appear that the deal is dead, isn't it? If our focus has switched to Lukaku, it would appear that there's no further progress with the Haaland deal. I'm against it. The club will do what they will do. I slightly disagree with one point. I don't think the club always know best. I really don't. They've made a few howlers in the past. They have the money in their hands. They have the decision-making in their hands. And they plan together and they have the insight to these deals. But sometimes fans see the right moves that they don't. And they usually have egg on their face when they ignore us. This is one of those situations, I believe. Well, if they want him, they can go for him, but he's not good for Chelsea. I would rather play anybody but Lukaku. That's how strongly I feel about it. I would even try Amando. I would keep Tammy. Lukaku, I have no faith in the guy.
All right. Bobby, I agree and disagree. I agree with what you said in regards to the club doesn't always know best. We've seen the club make some big mistakes in the past. Massive mistakes in the past. And we're still trying to overcome. Sorry, I'm getting some pop-ups on my screen. And we're still trying to get over those mistakes. Drinkwater, Kepa, Bakayoko, Barkley to some degree, Zappacosta, and others. Yeah, we make mistakes. But the fact that Chelsea are pushing so much money down this avenue, does that mean that there is no other avenue that we are able to pursue? Because for me, seeing this much money being pushed down the Lukaku avenue, it's getting me to think, how much money did we actually put in for the Haaland deal and it was rejected? Because do you guys think that we put in money for the Haaland deal and it was rejected? Let's establish that first. Boogeyman, do you think Chelsea have made a bid for Haaland and it was rejected? Boogeyman.
So, Jan, I always forgot his last name. Jan has said...
Jan Arne Fjordhoff.
He said no bid has been made.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I said, Jan said no bid has been made.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Jan has said they're still waiting for that huge bid because Haaland group tend to be polite and tend to not say anything. They try to be respectful for Dortmund, so they will not comment, they will not say anything in the press. That's how Haaland side position is. So seems like no bid has come in or they didn't receive any bid. So at this point, if you ask me, do I think? My answer is no, because there will always be a smoke if there is a fire. If we don't smell it, then I don't think the negotiation is still on. They're talking, but for some reason, something somewhere is making the Haaland bid impossible. That's my point at this moment. What it is, I don't know. I told you about it, I think, a few days ago. But what is it? I just don't know. For me, Chelsea has to be in a position to do all they can to bring Haaland to Stamford Bridge. Whatever they can, they have to. Even if the agent, they have to tell the agent, we will pay your installment, just the agent fee. They pay Dortmund fee, but the agent fee, they pay that installment, 10 million every season to his agent, just to clear that 40 million that he wanted. Just do that and get Haaland into it. The reason why I'm saying that is because Lukaku cannot cost 130 million. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think Lukaku should cost that much. Lukaku is a 60 million player at the most. If we take any other risk, I would rather go with Haaland. That's my position. That's all it is. So for me, the answer to your question, I don't think Chelsea has put official date, but the reason is there's something somewhere that is preventing that thing to happen. What it is, I'm not sure.
It's like spending 100 million either on a stallion or a donkey, and we choose to spend it on a donkey. Who does that? Who does that? I mean, I'm just fed up with this whole thing.
That's harsh. Listen, regarding Armando Broja, there is talks that he's been touted by Udinese. That was just tweeted by Fabrizio Romano. I think it was Udinese. His situation is a little bit of a funny one, because if he is also being touted and Chelsea are listening to offers, I'm starting to think that there's a lot more going on that we know about. The donkey comment, Bobby, has got a lot of traction in the chat, man.
Bobby, someone say Harvest love donkeys.
Yeah. But that's true. That is true. That is true. That is but Havertz does like donkeys. He the memes that are going through my mind right now. Some crazy memes that are happening. But listen. I think that we have to remain respectful. Lukaku is still a good striker. Yes, Serie A is different than the Premier League. Can he perform to the same level that he's performing in the Serie A? Listen, lads, I wasn't impressed with Lukaku's performance in the Euros. But doesn't mean that he's a bad player. It means that, he's not what he used to be. If he was ever what we all think that he might be. Because he had some good games, but he had a lot of bad games. And, I'm reading in the chat, a lot of people are talking about him being good against the lesser teams, but it's not so good against the bigger teams. So this is... this is a tricky one, and I agree. I agree that Erling Haaland, Lukaku is going to keep us worried and keep us thinking, because they're two different types of players, but the one thing that they have in common is they both can score goals, and I think Lukaku may have a problem in regards to the Premier League being a bit tougher than the Serie A. That being said, when he comes to playing the Premier League, he's been playing in Chelsea with one of the best teams in moving forward, both in counter attacks and both in build up play, chance creation. Lukaku will thrive, in my opinion. He will thrive with Chelsea. He may struggle with other teams, but I think he will thrive with Chelsea. And a striker is only as good as the players around him, and I think the players that he will be with, the Havertz, the Werner, the Pulisic, the Callum, the Ziyech, the Mounts, there is a lot of players out there that can feed him good chances. I think Chelsea with their pursuit of Lukaku, maybe they find themselves, I think you said this yesterday, Bobby, in that corner, maybe, and Lukaku is the only option they have. So, yeah, we got to look at it from different perspectives, Bobby.
No, when you spend over £100 million, you're not just looking at somebody that will fill the hole in the team, which is a goal scorer.
It's yours. It's yours. So it's
euros, euros, pounds. Once you're talking of the 2 O's at the end, you're not just looking at somebody that will fill the gap in our team, which is what we are looking for. But we are looking for a marquee striker, a striker that, yes, he's going to be scoring goals, but he's going to do the sort of thing Hazard did. At the time where the team was flat on its feet and out of ideas, this man came up with something. He carried the team and he did some magic somewhere. That's what we're looking for. Haaland will give us that. He's young enough. The world is at his feet. He does some things sometimes that carries his team. Lukaku will
I
never
agree
do that.
I
Never.
agree 100% with you, Bobby. I agree with you 100%. The question is, why is Chelsea making this offer to Lukaku and not Haaland? Because
Smoke and
Why?
mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. It could well be a screen.
You think so?
Well, it's the only thing that
How
would
last season compared to?
only thing that would make sense to me, because right now we're looking really dumb, really dumb.
Yeah. I'm gonna address this comment by Gavin. Gavin, thank you for your super chats, mate. This is your third super chat. Listen, last season was different than this season. Last season, Chelsea bought a lot of players. We bought a lot of players on the back of a transfer ban, on the back of a winter transfer window that we didn't get no players in. So we had to go in the market and we had to bring in some players. So obviously that was going to be different, and also the last window was different. The last window was the peak of the pandemic on the global stage. So not a lot of clubs were able to do what we did. Therefore, we were able to have a free roam in regards to purchases and players in. We didn't have a lot of players going out, but this season we're doing that. So, it is what it is. But you're always going to have, differences in the start of every season. Again, appreciate your super chat, mate. Thank you very much. Couch Critic, welcome to the stream.
What's going on, fellas?
We're good. How you doing?
Oh, man, just trying to digest the news just like all you guys are. It seems a little bit disheartening. I pretty much, I don't even know where to start because pretty much everything that Bobby has said is pretty much echoed by me. Also, Boogeyman, like I just don't think that Lukaku as a striker is what we need. We need somebody that's going to be a match winner. We need somebody that's going to be a talisman, not just like your 6 yard box kind of like poacher, which is essentially what Tammy is anyways, right? We need somebody that can win us matches, and I don't think that Lukaku is that guy. Having said that, what we're hearing right now just reeks of desperation, and I have no doubt in my mind that Erling Haaland was the club's #1 target, who they put most of their emphasis on trying to get over the line, and for whatever reason, that seems to be either been rejected to the point where Chelsea don't want to pursue that anymore this late in the window, or the appetite, the amount of money that's being talked about, the appetite's just not there for whatever reason. And now we are looking for our plan B, which could be Lukaku. I don't know. But again, I don't think that the level of what we're talking about right now is even close to comparable when you consider what Erling Haaland will do for you for the next 5-10 years versus what you get from Lukaku. So I don't know, a little disheartening, but again, the club have their business to do, and there's no doubt they're going to come out of this window with a striker. So I guess we just got to have to, just suck it up and accept what is happening right now.
Yeah. Listen, before I address what you just said there, Couch Critic, people, we have over 200 people in the chat. We've had this 200, 300 people in the chat, and we're still only 135 likes. So do me a favor and push that to 150, 15 more likes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do me a favor, subscribe to the Blue Lounge on the road to 10K. So I'd appreciate your subscription. Couch Critic, mate. I agree with Bobby. I agree with Boogeyman. I agree with and I agree with Eric as well. I agree with you. Everything that we've said is accurate. But the question is, Haaland, his deal apparently is dead. apparently is dead, because for Chelsea to be making these offers and to be continuously making these offers, I think talking about the deadline that we were talking about yesterday that has been tweeted, that the Haaland deal needs to be finalised within the next 7 days, it looks like Chelsea have given up on that because they have not been able to reach a point whereby they think within the next few days they are able to finalise this deal or to come to a conclusion. Because if that was the case, these offers would not be going in for Haaland. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about smoke screens. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. I know people are talking about smoke screens in the chat, talking about fake news, smoke screens. Possible, but who is playing these this game of mirrors and smoke screens and whatnot? Fabrizio Romano, Matt Law, Simon Johnson, Simon Phillips. Who's playing this game? And
maybe Simon Phillips, but definitely not Simon Johnson.
Simon Phillips is copies and paste what Simon Johnson writes. But the point is this. These journalists, they have a reputation. They have a name, credibility. They can't lose that. Playing smoking screens and smoking mirrors and whatnot. They're not playing that game. There is something behind this deal. There's something behind this offer, and for me, I'm disheartened that the Haaland deal looks like it's dead. I hope I'm wrong, but it looks like it's dead. But,
can I counter what you said?
One second, Eric. The question is, yes, we don't think Lukaku is as good as Haaland, but he's a good alternative, in my opinion. Eric, let me hear your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, I wanted to just counter what you said. Journalists don't want to lose. They don't want to lose their reputation, but at the same time, they also toe the line. They get told things, and they get told what they can and can't say. So the club may have told them, release this amount, release this specific information about this player, and they'll just do it because obviously they need to keep their connections with the club. So those are, those kind of deals, those kind of situations happen with journalists. So, when a journalist, releases a certain amount of information about something, it's not always what is 100% factual. This is why you have to read between the lines. You can't just take every single thing that these journalists say as a gospel. You have to, try and see things in a different way, and just look at the general situation and get come up with your own conclusion. That's the way I see it. So just because they say something doesn't mean, even if multiple people are saying the same thing, it depends. It depends sometimes. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's late in the window, though. I just feel like so late in the window, it's very hard to be playing the smoke and mirrors game like this late in the window. We gotta start putting together some bids and getting some deals over the line now. So as much as I want to believe that this is just another sort of smoke and mirrors, like Chelsea trying to, just nudge Dortmund in the right direction, I just don't feel like that's what's happening right now. It just feels like we've made all the attempts that we're going to make through intermediaries to try and get Haaland done. And for whatever reason, that number is just not something that Chelsea see as something they can do. And as a result, we're looking elsewhere. And what we're looking at is not something that I'm necessarily in agreement with, but, what are we going to do?
Flip side. Don't forget also...
Bobby, Boogeyman, 1 second. Flip side. Chelsea have no information coming out in regards to the deal that they are doing with Erling Haaland. No Matt Law, no Johnson, no Phillips, no one is talking about the Haaland deal. But we're getting this information about the Lukaku deal. Yeah? Let's read between the lines. Why haven't we heard about the Haaland deal, and why have we heard about 2 rejected bids for Lukaku?
It's difficult to say, isn't it? Sorry.
Go on, Bobby. Go on.
So I thought you said Bobby. Sometimes when you say boogeyman, it sounds like Bobby to me. Sorry.
Go on. Nah, it's not good. Go on.
It's difficult to say, isn't it? The ultimate truth will be when the club announces whatever. Right now, I think we can. One thing we're sure of is at the moment, even if it's alluding to the truth, everything we're hearing now is more or less a rumor. And we have to take it as such because there's still scope for so much more to happen. And there's still scope for so much more to have already happened. We're not hearing anything about the Haaland deal. Could mean one of two things. Either there is no deal or the deal is very much alive and probably even done. Time will tell. The only thing I've got to say is, yes, we all watch and we see what the board is doing. If they go for Lukaku, well, it is what it is. But I tell you what, when it happens, like I suspect it will, that it doesn't go that well, what's going to be coming back at the board is going to be pretty hot stuff. And the days of, Marina Granovkaia sits here and she does all these, she waves a magic wand and all that will be long, long, long gone. This is a bear pit and we don't mess with our club. And really, if you want to make a fool of yourselves there, the spotlight is on the rest of us as fans. So we'll wait and see. We have one chance in many years to really, really step it up and step into that level of greatness that will be there for some time. And we want to blow it, and not only blow it, blow the cash as well on Lukaku. Wow. That's hard to take.
Yeah, no, it's one hell of a smokescreen, though. One hell of a smokescreen if it is. You see, I agree with what you said there, Bobby, because you see the thing is this: the Haaland deal could either be still in progress, and that's why things have been quiet on it, or it might actually be dead, and Chelsea are looking for the alternative. Both scenarios are viable. Wishful thinking, positive thinking, would like to think that no, the deal is still being negotiated. But Chelsea don't want to put all the eggs in one basket and they want to see what they can achieve with the Lukaku deal. Because Chelsea do rate Lukaku. Maybe you don't, but Chelsea do rate him. So, maybe they're working both avenues. And because they want to, put pressure on the Haaland deal, they are allowing Matt Law and others to talk about the Lukaku deal in public to put pressure on the Haaland deal. Quite possible. Or, the Haaland deal is dead and, so not to kick up fuss, everyone has just agreed to keep it quiet and just move on. So both scenarios are viable there. Yeah.
My worry is, and if that is acceptable and that is true, my worry is the information that's been leaked can only hurt the Haaland deal now.
Why?
Because now we know that Lukaku's turned down 2 offers. We've had 2 bids returned. So now Dortmund's stance is probably even stronger.
But the reports are saying that Chelsea are going to bid a third offer, and
right,
that's the thing. If me and you are negotiating, I gave you an offer, you rejected it. I gave you a second offer, you rejected it, and I'm going to give you a third. That means I'm getting closer to your demand or what we are asking for. So the fact that that I'm getting closer to that is a little bit of pressure on Dortmund because Chelsea are going to bid a third time. They really want this guy. They really are interested in this guy. And the fact that they've leaked the information. I mean, Fabrizio Romano said today, 100 million euros plus Marcos Alonso. Okay, so that is accurate information in regards to what Chelsea have offered. Therefore, they know that Chelsea are offering something in the region of 120 million euros for Lukaku. Chelsea are interested. Chelsea are pushing for this. we need to get our act together if we want to sell Haaland this window. Otherwise, Chelsea are going to go away and buy Lukaku, and we're going to end up having to ask to our board for refusing what Chelsea are offering. So it can be played out in both scenarios and both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's a tough
for sure.
one. Yeah, it's tough.
And I can definitely see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
It's
Come
just
on,
like,
let's cheer up, man. Come on, we need to up the mood is a bit too down, man. It's not
okay,
even.
give me something there.
The other thing I'd like
tell me what we need to know, man.
The other thing I'd like to add is Jan had said last Thursday that we should be looking into the next 7 to 10 days. That's something.
Yeah, there's a deadline. Yeah.
So I'm still expecting Haaland deal to go through, and I'm pretty sure Fabrizio Romano and Matt Law, they got a lot of transfer news wrong also. So let's just hope that's the case this time around, and then hopefully Haaland deal come through. Because
Yeah, look, it's
as
not.
a Chelsea, we just champions of Europe. Playing this game is not just good for our image. We just a champions of we're full of talented young kids. Listen, Lukaku is just now the answer. Let's bring more talent into the team. Not some excuse me the term, but some donkey to come and just destroy it.
Offside.
Yeah, I
Listen,
know.
Very strange, man. I don't understand these.
I just want to clarify something. These references are references that I do not agree with. I do not agree with this type of terminology being used to any player. Romelu Lukaku wore that Chelsea shirt in the past and he represented our club. He may be doing that in the future. For us to be using that terminology for him is out of line. So I'll ask you guys to refrain from calling him that name in the future.
Okay, then
But
let's.
Mo, I got to say, I have to apologize. I'm sorry. I used that in terms, I was referring to something, not actually calling the player that. But I can see how people can jump on that and really start to use it and tag the player with it. And I apologize.
You
That came from me.
you said Holland's a stallion, and
No, I
that
said
is
it's like you have a choice to buy a stallion for 100 million and a donkey for 100 million, and you choose to buy the donkey. If you watch back the video, you will hear that's what I said. But I sometimes in these things, if you give ammunition to something, they can run away with it. So I apologize. Nobody's a donkey here. Certainly not a player.
I mean, his stats are not bad. Let's be honest. I mean, you may have your issues with him, but he's not a bad player. When I see some comments, I just it just hurts my head because he's not that bad. He's not.
Yeah. Eric, listen, criticize his finishing, criticize his dribbling, his positioning, criticize any aspect of his play, no issues. Everyone has their own opinion, has their own set of stats. But name calling, let's just avoid that moving forwards. Because if you guys have a look in the chat, it's been used a lot, this word, and I don't like to see this kind of word being referred to any player, regardless whether they played or didn't play for Chelsea. Listen, this stream is going to conclude. It's going to conclude. I'm going to conclude the stream. But before I conclude it, I want to give you guys a couple of minutes to give me your final thoughts. Where are we moving forward in regards to Romelu Lukaku and Erling Haaland? I'm going to start with Boogeyman and we'll work our way around final thoughts. Boogeyman, your final thoughts on this particular topic?
Hey, yes, I'll probably join Bobby on that one. Sorry for calling Lukaku donkey. And listen, it came out of my mouth, and I should probably not say that. Okay, but when it comes to Haaland, when it comes to our striker problem, listen, we all know what we need. I cannot say that. There's nothing I can do, and whatever Tuchel decide, we're going to back up to. We're going to be supporting and be behind Tuchel because we think he is the coach for this Chelsea team. We think last season he was the best transfer we had. We like Urban Harvard and all those things. We still think Tuchel was the best. transfer we have, and so why not? We can trust him this season also to lead the team without Lukaku, with Inks or whatever come in. Then listen, we trust him and we back him up, and we'll see. But I still hold that hope that Jan say we should wait for the next 10 days to hear more about Haaland deal. He doesn't think the deal is dead yet. So I don't think Fabrizio Romano or Matt Law knows too much about the deal. They just kind of speculating, or like I think was Eric Blue that said that, or Couch Critic that said maybe Chelsea is pushing those two journalists to say those things just to as a smoke screen, so to push Dortmund to release Haaland or something like that. Hopefully that's the case, and I'm still keeping it positive. But hopefully we got Haaland because we need him. That's the one we need for sure. Okay, thanks, man.
Cheers, Boogeyman. Eric Blue, final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts are I'm still hopeful. I know Baggy's already Mo's already given up, but I keep calling you Baggy. Sorry, I'm used to saying Baggy. Yeah, I don't want to give up yet. It's not Sunday yet. The deadline that Jan gave isn't here yet either. So I think.
So Eric, I just cut you off for a second. I haven't given up.
Okay.
I think all scenarios are still valid. But I think the push towards Lukaku can be interpreted in one of two ways, which I have mentioned. But I'm not giving up. So I'm not out of the race for Haaland. I still think we should be pursuing that. It's looking a little bit more shaky right now. Carry on, Eric.
Okay, that's fair. I think I'm still hopeful, man. I'm hopeful it will happen. As you can see, I changed my pick, my profile.
I like it.
So I'm keeping the faith, and if we if we sign what's his name, Dusan Vlahovic, whatever. I'm not sure I got that pronunciation right. Hopefully I did. But if we sign him, it needs to be like what Boogeyman said. Very cheap. That's what you would want. A very cheap alternative. But if not, it has to be between those two players. Lukaku or Haaland. Those are the only. Obviously, a lot of people don't like Lukaku. I understand. But he's better than nobody. Maybe it's overpriced as well. But sometimes we're not really in the best position to have the luxury of everything going exactly the way we want. So I'll be fine with either of those options, and I'm waiting till Sunday. I think something should we've already had news between the last stream and now. So by Sunday I'm sure we'd have heard some more news, and obviously Wednesday maybe we can. It's difficult to say you can take your eyes off or take your mind off the situation right now, but we can focus on the preseason match against Spurs, and obviously the parade before that. We can sort of remember that we're in a really good position, and we're genuinely a club who is in the mix for these players. So there are definitely positives to how to focus on, even though we don't like the way things are going now. So I'm still very hopeful. Hopefully we sign one of these two players and we can just move on, man. Because I want to focus on preseason now.
Yep. Listen, lads, we've only got 147 likes, 3 likes away from 50. Let's get that target 150. So 3 more likes, appreciate it. If you're new to the Blue Lounge, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content. Couch Critic, final thoughts, mate.
Yeah, no, pretty much everything that's been said so far. I feel like I'm going to be like a broken record. I feel like we all have a strong grasp of what we want. We want Erling Haaland. I think that he'd be the perfect match for the talent that we've surrounded ourselves with at Chelsea currently. When I look at Lukaku, I just don't see a match winner. I see a guy that if we score 5 goals, he'll be the one that scores the 4th and 5th rather than be the one that scores the actual winner. And I just don't feel like that's what we need right now. We need somebody that's going to be like an iconic talisman, somebody that can take opportunities and also create them on his own. And he's that kind of striker. Haaland is that kind of striker. And that's the difference between, a good striker who can score you 20 goals, including, penalties, and an elite level striker who, you know, you can depend on to get you out of tight situations. That's what we're looking for right now. With Erling, I don't necessarily know what the situation is. I don't think that any of these in the knows or journalists actually know what's happening at this club right now. They get the information trickled down to them, and it's not the full story. So maybe what we're hearing right now is, something that could lead to a late bid for Erling Haaland. I did like what you had to say, Mo, about maybe, this third bid being something where we're using it to put pressure on Dortmund. That it can go definitely either way for sure. When you look at it, it could put pressure on Dortmund if their intentions are to sell, or it could give them a firmer grip on the whole situation by saying, listen, if you guys, all your targets are dissipating quickly, we want our 150 million pounds, or just forget about it, right? So it could go either way. I'm of the opinion that if Chelsea bid, we get him. If they bid him, but maybe we're at the position where Chelsea's not even in a position to bid that kind of money, just because of the circumstance, financial fair play, the appetite of the club. Can we actually absorb that sort of like huge expenditure? These are all things that we don't necessarily know, and most things will come to light probably closer to the end of the window. But truly, I only think that there's one striker that makes us better, and if it comes down to not getting Erling Haaland, I'd rather just run it back with what we have. I don't think that we should be investing into B-tech strikers or overpaying for Lukaku. Just work with what we have. You saw what Tuchel did in 6 months with with Werner, with Havertz, with Pulisic, Mason Mount. We saw what he did with that, and while it's not exactly what we think will be enough to contend for the title, it's better than sinking even more money into dead weight that we can't ship. So I'd rather see us stand pat and build with what we have, and then look for that next striker, that elusive striker, at another opportunity, rather than sink more money into the Vlahovic. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I apologize. Or overspending for Lukaku. But again, you guys have some great points, and I take it all in, and I agree with most of it. So it's just up to the club right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting where we are. It's interesting where we are, and I think the best stories will be told once this transfer window closes, and then we start hearing all the details about what Chelsea actually did and didn't do, what Dortmund actually did and didn't do. Because I think there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes right now, in regards to Haaland, in regards to other strikers, other potential options. Because I think what we are hearing is only the tip of the iceberg, and I think there's a hell of a lot more happening behind the scenes. Bobby, what's your final thoughts, mate?
Yeah, thanks, Mo. I have to, before I close off, apologize again unreservedly for the analogy I made about a stallion and a donkey. I was doing just that, making an analogy. But you got to be careful when you get on these platforms with what you say, because there are people that will run away with it, and then it becomes insulting. And that's not what I'm here for at all. It's a privilege to be on a platform like this, and I'm not here to abuse it by slinging insults at anybody, especially not players. But having said that, in response to your sign-off question, honestly, once we get into the realms of paying over £100 million, or if you want to call it euros, which is about 80, 85, 90 million pounds, once we're in those sort of figures of being rejected and we're looking to make higher bids, it means that there's money to spend somewhere. And I think it means you've got to be going for the best. We have one opportunity now after so many years to climb to the very top. Either we spend it correctly or we don't spend it at all. We have enough to look in within to try and create what we want rather than going and wasting money and not getting what we want.
Yeah. No. The way the money is spent, it's gonna divide us. Because I think we should attempt to sign Lukaku. Maybe the money that we're putting forward is a little bit much, and I think it's just trying to balance it out, because I think with Lukaku we stand a chance to get or to be challenging. Without Lukaku, I think it's less of a chance. So from that point of view, I lean more towards the side of signing Lukaku. But again, we'll have to wait and see. And I think the transfer window is heating up, and this week in particular, it's going to be a crazy week. And I think tomorrow, there's a very good chance that tomorrow's stream we'll be talking about Haaland coming in. Jan Arg might have an interview on ESPN tomorrow evening, and then all we're going to be talking about is the opportunity to sign Haaland again. And it's been like that. This has been a roller coaster of a transfer window. Every day things change and things flip. Just yesterday we were talking about Erling Haaland coming to Chelsea. Lukaku's bid. The day before that, Erling Haaland, it's definitely happening. Before that, it's not happening. Before that, it's happening. And it's going to continue like that. And personally, I can't wait to see this transfer window end and have all of these issues concluded, because I want to focus on the season. I want to focus on the football. What system is Tuchel going to play? What formation is he going to play? Who's going to start? Who's going to be given an opportunity? The youngsters, the new signings from last season. Are we going to get Kurt Zouma on the way out? Is Koundé coming in? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the team rather than the window. So hopefully we'll have that resolved pretty soon. Thank you to everybody for taking part in the stream. It's been a good stream. We've had a good debate. And again, apologies accepted from everyone who had a slip. These things happen. A debate always gets people's emotions running high, and sometimes, we say things that we later contemplate on and regret saying. These things happen, and I don't think there's any malice, directed to anyone or any individual from anybody here on the panel or even in the chat. I think we're passionate about our club and passionate about the success we want to see our club achieve. And sometimes that may cause us to get over passionate. Anyway, thanks a lot for taking part, everyone. Appreciate you all. Guys in the chat, appreciate you for being here. Before you guys go, hit the like button on your way out. I would really appreciate that. Have a good day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.
See you.
Up the chat.